BrightenedAffinityCommunity.
Hi, I'm Dex, and you know exactly what time it is. It's time for a book update. I know I haven't done one of these since the month of February, and I just didn't really read that much in the month of March, and I was going to record it earlier in the month of April, but I was on holiday, and then I got super ill. But we're back, and it's time for a book update. So, with this, I'm going to talk about the books that I read in the month of March into April, and then what I've been reading, or what I am currently reading. So, starting off with the month of March, I read The Library Cat by Alex Howard. I only gave this 3 stars. I just didn't enjoy it very much. At the beginning, I was super into it, and I've mentioned when I said that I was going to be reading this book that I read The Ghost Cat by Alex Howard, and it was such a beautiful book. It had me so intrigued, and I generally thought it was one of the best books I have ever read in 2025. This book, however, just didn't capture me as much. In the beginning, we get to follow the cat through Edinburgh's University Library, and then after that, it just goes through so many different things, and then after that, it starts to get a bit boring. But that was my first read of March, and I only gave it 3 stars. I don't think I would read it again. The next book that I read in the month of March was 1984 by George Orwell. I gave this book 4.5 stars. It is a fantastic read, and the way that I've been describing it to a lot of people is it's so weird how something written back then, could basically talk about how everything is now, around the world and stuff. It was super interesting, super intriguing, and I just liked the way it was written. I read about George Orwell in high school, and I used one of his pieces for my persuasive essay, and I've heard a lot of good things about him, and I can definitely say he's a good author, and I would definitely read 1984. Now moving on to the month of April, the first book that I read was The Haunting of Hill House by Shirley Jackson. I watched The Haunting of Hill House, I think a few weeks before I decided to pick up this book. Comparing the book to the TV show, it's so different. It doesn't really follow the same thing, and it was quite shocking on how they did this. I also forgot to mention, I gave this 4 stars. I like the so quick spoiler, if you've watched The Haunting of Hill House, they're all siblings, whereas in this, they're all strangers, and I think that's quite interesting. The whole plot of Eleanor was fantastic. I definitely would read this book again, and yeah, I really enjoyed it, and yet again I gave it 4. The final book I read in the month of April was The Sad Ghost Club. I gave this book 4 stars, but I really want to change my rating to 5 stars. I think this book was absolutely beautiful. It's not really a book, it's a graphic novel, but I'm still counting it. This took me 30 minutes to read, and I was very intrigued and really moved by how this book really talks about mental health. That is the main focal point of this entire book, is all about mental health. And it's just genuinely fantastic. It's so beautiful. And I really like the whole point of ghosts, which in my mind I perceive ghosts not being able to have feelings. But in this book, that's the whole point. This ghost is feeling so lonely, it doesn't have any friends, and it's so beautiful. And 100% I would read it again. I know there's a book series to it, so I need to collect the rest of the books. So gave it 5 stars, by the way. I know I already said that, but I just added it into the... Now we're going to move on to the books that I am currently reading, and there's about 2 or 3. So let's start off with the first. I do not have it on me right now. It's in my house. It's in the living room. And it's The Count of Monte Cristo. I said that last month that I was going to start reading it, and I wanted to read the books in between. I somehow got more interested in the books in between, but so far Count of Monte Cristo has been quite enjoyable. I've really enjoyed it, and yet again it's about wrongful imprisonment, and I'm really excited to see where the plot goes. And I can't wait to get into it more, but I'm currently focusing on my other book. The next book I'm reading, or the book that I'm currently reading, is Crime and Punishment by Fyodor Dostoevsky. I don't know. I'm not even going to try and butcher his last name. But so far this book is completely super interesting. I'm only 48 pages in. I want to take my time. reading. I tend to speed through it quite a lot when I do read. I tend to just like get carried away a little bit, but so far this has been really interesting. He had a thought about murdering someone, and that's about it really. Like, so far I'm on currently somebody's writing a letter to someone. I can't really remember. I picked up this book like twice, but I really want to get into it, so I'm gonna make myself sit and read it when I can. The third book that I was reading was Before the Body Found in a Stairwell, but I kind of gave up on that book. I just don't think it's for me right now. I'm super into my English classics and I just kind of want to continue reading them. There's just something so beautiful about English classics, and as well as I'm talking about books I haven't read, I did not finish Before the Coffee Gets Cold series, because once you get into them, it's just like, you know what the format is and stuff, and I wish I could get into it because I still have 2 books left to read, but apparently I can't. I have been in a massive reading slump and I haven't really picked up a book in a while. I have been trying to read this and I realised I do really want to get back into reading because I am so close to reaching my goal of 20 books this year. I am 7 away. What books do I want to read next? Is a good question. I want to read all of Jane Austen's books because I have them on my bookshelf. I also want to read To Kill a Mockingbird. I have the Odyssey and I really want to get The Great Gatsby. But apart from that, and I also want to read East of Eden by John Steinbeck. Can't forget that. But apart from that, that is my reading book update. I'm going to edit this a little differently, so tell me what you think and if you enjoyed it. But yeah, I'll see you again in the month of May.